A very good morning to all the students. I, Diksha Gupta, Assistant Professor, School of Management, Babu Banarsi Das University, Lucknow. See students, today we are going to discuss about the topic under your research methodology subject, that is Introduction to Research and Data Types. This is a backbone of our research methodology or research. The topic is the backbone of the research for the further research if when you are going to study in your syllabus. So this is the content which we are going through in our this presentation. The meaning of research, characteristics of research, meaning of data collection, methods of primary and secondary data, and the last one is your introduction about the secondary data and the differentiation between primary and secondary data. Let's move to another slide, that is the meaning of research. Before proceeding, you all are required to understand the meaning of research, the concept of the research. Basically, the research word is derived from a Middle French word research, which means to go about seeking. The term itself is being derived from the old French term researcher, which is a compound from a researcher, and when we are breaking that particular word or comprises between two words, that is a re plus search. Re means again and again, and search means to find out something new. Research means a systematic investigation or an activity to gain a new knowledge, or we can say existing fact. Whatever has been done, research, it is all about that. Whatever has been done, on the basis of that previous literature review, we are conducting a research for the creation of new knowledge, for the creation of new methodology, and creating new concept for understanding. See, we are living in our today's scenario. There are many of the things in our today's scenario, but if we are discussing about our past scenario, there is a lot of things are not there. So everything in everywhere, research is in everywhere nowadays, whether it is from technology, whether it is from scientific, whether it is from creation, anything, everywhere, every sector involve a research. Without research, it is not possible to understand the demand and supply of the goods and services, or anything which comes under our study. So that is why we are talking about a research methodology, and research is a very vast term. Research means a systematic investigation to gain a new knowledge of existing or already existing fact. If we are talking about a theoretical terminology or a theoretical definition of the research, so research is defined as a creation of new knowledge or a use of existing knowledge in a new and creative way, so as to generate new concept, methodologies, and so on. Okay, let's move to next slide. Hope you understand the concept of research, because if you understand the concept of research, the rest of the things will be more easier for you for understanding. The another slide is mentioned in the characteristics of research. Characteristics of research has been divided into 6 parts: the objectivity, reliability, validity, accuracy, generalizability, and the last one is systematic. See, objectivity. If you want to conduct a research in future, and you want to be a initial researcher, you should for initial researcher, or for any researcher, for the purpose of research, is research objective should be clear. Without objective is a part of the planning of the research, that what, when, why, where, whom, by whom you wants to do. Because whenever you want to know that what exactly wants to do, that is all about comes in your objective. Without objective, there is no goal, and there is no certain optimum utilization of resources. So you whenever when you know the objective, that what you exactly wants to do, so then you may proceed for the further steps of in your research process. So without objective, research is completely biased. The another characteristic is about reliability of the reliability. It is all about verifiability of your research. The data should be valid, that should be accurate. The next one is generalizability. Generalizability, it is about the research should be the degree in which research finding can be applied to a larger population. The research should be generalized in all the aspects. For example, COVID-19 research is a generalized research. it is for all, not for individual, not for an individual, it is for all. The next one is systematic, where if you are conducting a research, if you are conducting a systematic research and you are following a definite procedure of the research, so definitely it will be fruitful for your further research process. Let's move to another slide, that is comes under your data collection. Data collection is a very crucial or a very vital part of a research, and it will be it is also very interesting part of the research. Data collection is a process of gathering information from all the relevant sources to find a solution of your research problem. It can be divided into two parts: primary data, or we can say a secondary data. See, the data collection helps to evaluate the outcome of the problem and methods to allow a person to conclude an answer to a relevant question. If you are collecting a data for your research, you are able to give the answers to the question, to give the answers to the researcher, or the person whom the person is going to ask a question. So if you are liable to give the answer, that means you are a genuine researcher, and you are conducting a research. So that is why data collection is a process of gathering information from the all relevant sources. Let's move to another point. The first one is the type of data. Under we are discussing about primary data. Primary data is a part of our fresh data, or the first time collected by the researcher, is in this kind of a character, in this kind of data is known as a primary data. This kind data is in shape of a raw material. This data has been divided into two parts: the qualitative and as well as quantitative. See, for, some of the things, let's take an example. Some of the things we cannot conclude, or we cannot judge on the basis of number. We cannot evaluate someone's emotion, or we cannot analyze someone's emotion on the basis of number. Let's say that we are saying that that particular person has a 0.5% of emotion, that z person has a 10 or 20% emotion. No, there is a no machine to evaluate someone's emotion. There is a kind of some techniques we are using for the further process. So there is kind, so that is why in primary data has been further classified qualitative and as well as quantitative. There are number of the things which we can evaluate on the basis of number, which we are going through this some of the statistical process, but there is n number of things we are concluding on the basis of observation, studies, interviewing, and n number of things. So on the basis of I am giving the previous example. For example, someone's emotion, if you want to evaluate someone's emotion, so we have to use the qualitative data collection method. Okay, just write it down, this kind of example. It will be good for you for the references. So qualitative and quantitative, let's more discuss about the qualitative and quantitative. Quantitative data collection is a kind of a mathematical, based on the mathematical calculation using some of the formats like close-ended question, correlation, regression, all the statistical tools we are using. This kind of method is cheaper data kind of collection applied for a short duration of a time. And qualitative does not involve any mathematical calculation. It will be concluded as a and collected by through interviews, through questionnaire, through observation studies, through cases during the time of pandemic situation. We are circulating a lots of questionnaire to the student. We are conducting exam on the basis of questionnaire, on the basis of different types of questionnaire. So hope you remember this kind of questionnaire. So this is a kind of a data we are using through qualitative data collection method. Okay, hope you understand. Let's move to advantages of primary data. This kind of data is original and independent. Directly collection enhance the reliability of the data. It will be used as a quantitative and qualitative as well. After analyzing primary data, it can be used as a secondary data. It is the best part of our primary data. Let's move to another point, that is secondary data. Secondary data is already a kind of a data which is already been passed through the statistical process and analyzed by someone. Okay, or it can be analyzed by some researcher. So it will be good for initial researcher, because it is already being researched by someone else. So the secondary data includes through we can collect through magazine, newspaper, books, journal, and many other things. We are collecting this kind of data. Let's move to another slide. Methods of secondary data available on internet. We are surfing, so we are collecting the data through this method. Government and non-government agencies, public libraries, through educational institution, commercial information. So through this kind of methods are uh, we are conducting research, or we are collecting the data through this method. Okay, let's move to another point, that is advantages of secondary data. This data can be quickly manageable, as we have earlier discussed, or through but primary data cannot be quickly manageable, so it include lots of time. But in secondary data, time and cost balance, cost remains maintained. Information is analyzed by already expert and used to update, reinterpret it by existing ones. So this kind of things that include in our advantages of secondary data. See, let's move to the last slide of our today's class. Hope you understand these all points. We have discussed number of the things. Now we are going to discuss about the differentiation between primary and secondary data on the basis of originality, suitability, time and money, and the last one is effort. Primary data has their original, and the second one is lack of originality. The secondary data is uh, concluded as a not suit for inquiry. But primary data is positive in nature. Primary data is completely expensive, but in secondary data there is a best part, this is relatively cheaper than primary data. And in primary data is more efforts required, but comparatively in secondary data is collection required, it's less effort. So see, in our today's class, student, we have discussed many of the topics, many of the important topics on our syllabus. So we have discussed the concept of research. Hope you understand. We have discussed the data collection, we have discussed the types of data, primary and secondary data. And under the primary data, we have discussed qualitative and quantitative, and we have discussed through some of the examples, so it will be more fruitful for your further references, for your further studies, for your examination. So hope you understand. So this is all about for today's class. Hope you understand, student, and thank you, wishing you all the very best. Thank you. If you have any questions, so please ask. Thank you, students. Thank you.